Hello, my name is Dr. Rachel Scudamore and I'm the co-author with Kay Bond of the Working with International Students Guide for Staff in Engineering. Kay and I worked on this together because we've both got an interest in working with international students. My own background is as a biologist, but I've also run the PGCHE course for new lecturers at the University of Nottingham and was part of setting up that course at the university's campus in Malaysia. Kay has a lot of experience of teaching in engineering, teaching international students as well, of course, and involvement with the university's Malaysia and China campuses in that faculty. So we got together to write this guide for the HE Academy's Engineering Subject Centre, and we were also working with the Teaching International Students project, part of the HE Academy's work. Our aims were to look at how having international students changes the classroom, changes the dynamics of how students work with each other, and can change the role of the teacher in making sure that all students are learning effectively. We thought that we would start with the observations that academics make about what actually happens in the lecture theatre, in lab classes, working with project students, etc., and that we would then try and unravel how culture affects students' expectations and look at good practice from other academics on how they'd address those difficult, sometimes difficult situations effectively. So we looked at culture in two ways really. Firstly as a set of beliefs or values that everybody holds about the world, the way it works and their place within it, and how these values can affect a student's expectation of education, of the teacher's role and their role in the learning interaction. We also looked at culture as behaviour, rules for how to behave in different situations, and the misunderstandings that can arise when different rules are used for interpreting behaviour. Those were our backgrounds really to looking at how teaching can be most effective in engineering for all students. And I think there were three main things that came out of what we looked at. Firstly, how much commonality there was across the academics we talked to about the situations that they faced and things that they'd found effective in addressing those situations. Another finding was that when teaching was altered to improve the experience for international students, quite often this actually had an effect for all students, in improving the experience for all students. And the third main finding we had, I think, was how important the initial stages of that relationship between student and academic are, and the effects of culture shock for the student moving into a new environment, and the value of induction processes in addressing some of the expectation issues that can arise. So I think in terms of the online seminar, obviously you may have questions to ask about what's in the guide, but also it'd be useful if you could come prepared with some scenarios that we didn't address that you might be interested in, and also thinking about your own teaching and your own experience of what works, so that we can look at some of those situations and share good practice between the people who turn up at the seminar. So I think that's what I'd ask you to do in preparation. Otherwise, I look forward to meeting you there, and I hope that we can pick apart the guide in a way that's helpful. See you then.